What is going on, my super sandwiches? Rhymestyle here, and today I'm joined by Geekdom for some Dragon Ball Super Talk, and today we're kind of going off on what was mentioned in episode 80, a very, very important detail. If you have not watched episode 80 yet, then we highly recommend you watch that first before you watch this, and then come back with your discussion topics, because there's a lot to talk about. So, Geekdom. Episode 80 was interesting for more than one reason, and it's not just because of the Gohan Lav in the fight. What was the big reveal after that fight?
So we found out from the Great Priest that apparently not all 12 universes will be competing in the Tournament of Might. Zeno, the Omni King, has evaluated all the 12 universes and ranked them accordingly, and as a result of the ranking that he has determined through his research, and I'm guessing they're talking about present Zeno, not future Zeno, 4 universes are going to be exempt from the tournament, leaving us with only 8 universes to do combat. And those universes are 1, 12, 5, and 8. And the reason why we're saying 1, 12, 5, and 8 is because 1 and 12 are linked and 5 and 8 are linked. So the other universes will still compete, but those 4 are not going to compete because they are apparently ranked higher than the other 8 universes. But this has led to some confusion because a lot of people think that this ranking is in terms of power and strength when we'll get
It's
to
not.
it.
It's really not.
It's not. I don't care. Look, I don't care who said it. They're wrong. Trust me.
Like, I understand why people are confused why it was mentioned the way it was mentioned.
Me too.
This is a tournament of power, and the first thing you would think, oh, well, they're the weakest. But the first clue why this is not about power is because if it was about power, you would think that the Omni Kings, both of them, would want to see Universe 12, 1, 5, and 8 fight. If they're the best of the best, if they're the strongest, most powerful, you would want to see what they can do. If the weakest, quote-unquote, 7 and 9, were fighting and they were making those fights that epic, then you can only imagine what 1, 12, 5, and 8 would do. And because of that, that's already the first clue that this is not power-based. What they're referring to is they're referring to actual levels of mortals. Like, basically, put it this way. This is the analogy I like to use. The Omni King, President Omni King. Let's only talk about the President Omni King because talking about both would get confusing.
That's
the
right.
President Omni King. Imagine that he's an owner of 12 factories. This is his job, right? We're not talking about the Omni King, just Mr. Omni King. He owns 12 factories. He finds out that his top 4 factories, they're doing really, really well, in which case you want to focus on those. Whereas the other 8, you can probably cut down on it. The ones that aren't producing and producing a lot of product and pushing their weight, you would end up closing them, fire those people, and focus on the ones that are more efficient. That's business. In this situation, there's 12 universes. There used to be 18. Now there's 12, and he's looking to cut them down because there are universes who aren't really up to par as far as quote-unquote levels of mortals. Now, before I talk about
in other words, an easy way to say it is that they're not, like you said, they're not up to par. They're not maintained and governed as well as universes 1, 5, 8, and 12, whatever that means.
Which is important because now we also see the real reason why gods of destruction exist. I mean, before it was kind of like a yin and yang thing. You got the Supreme Kaios who create life, and then the gods of destruction.
It's still a yin and yang, but now we have more of a purpose.
Yeah, there's a purpose reveal. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The gods of destruction are very, very powerful because they're there to erase the mistakes of those universes. They're there to destroy the mistakes, whereas the Supreme Kais are there to basically give birth and light, and basically kind of overwatch to see how they do. And then if they're messing up, the gods of destruction are supposed to be there to clean up the mess. That's why it exists. That's why it works the way it works. Now, before I go on, I also want to read this from the Devil's Corpse on Twitter. If you want to follow him, I will link his Twitter in the description below. But this basically nails it. This is the post. Big shout out to Devil's Corpse as always. I think it's made pretty clear when Beerus and Kaioshin start breaking over who is at fault. This is in reference to when Supreme Kai and Beerus were basically talking about whose fault it was why Universe 7 is at the bottom of the totem pole next to Universe 9. Extra clarity comes when you look at the 2 lowest universes. Universe 9 is overseen by a scummy asshat of a Kaioshin and the indecisive Kaioshin, while Universe 7 is overseen by an experienced Kaioshin, Supreme Kai, for a lengthy period of time, and a Kaioshin who is capricious, sleeping for long periods of time and destroying things based on his current temperament. So, in other words, Supreme Kai is just way too young, well, due to the fact that he got kind of forced to be a Supreme Kai because of the whole Majin Buu thing. And Beerus, he sleeps a lot, he destroys based on his temper, his temper, and that does make him a really, really good god of destruction. On top of that, Geekdom, what's the big problem with Universe 7? Can you kind of break down what the big mortal problem is with the Universe 7?
Where do I start?
Everywhere. Exactly. That's the point. Let's look at Universe 7. Now, we obviously can't cover everything just because it's a massive universe and we don't know everything that's going on every single planet. But a big example to show you why Universe 7 is a really, really bad place filled with bad mortals is Frieza. This man terrorized the universe for a very long time, started selling planets, he was destroying people. This is a bad mortal. if you look at Universe 6, Universe 6 is like a model universe. Like the role models. You got the Saiyans who are actually good guys. Oh yeah, also you had the Saiyans in the Universe 7 who are all awful people too, who were just destroying left and right. Mostly Frieza's fault, but that's not the point. Universe 6 is nice. You know, they got great people there. They got, you know, they also have their own problems as well. You know, you got people like Frost, who is kind of basically like Frieza, but kind of underground. But he still does good, kind of, sort of, by saving people. But he also stars us, so he's not really that good of a person. But the point is like when you compare Universe 7 and 6, a lot of bad stuff happens in Universe 7, and why? Because mortals. In other words, Zamasu right, kind of. So because of that, Universe 7 is at the bottom, whereas Universe 9's big problem, as you know, the Devil's Corpse mentioned, is the kaioshin is kind of an asshat. He's scummy. I mean, you can see that in the last couple episodes. And then the bearded dwarf, God of Destruction, you just can't really decide that much based on, you know, seeing his character in the last couple episodes as well. So that's what this is. This is not a power thing. This is actually more of a your mortals suck. Dude,
it's more of a cultural thing.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
At no point is it actually stated that these rankings have anything to do with strength. At no point. In fact, more evidence suggests that's otherwise. For example, the Great Priest says that Gohan and Lavender are the lowest mortal level rank. That can't be a strength-based ranking because we know that Lavender and Gohan are not the weakest mortals. I mean, you've got Mr. Satan in the same room. He's right there with them. It would not make sense to rank them at the bottom of the barrel here.
Right.
Not just that, but also they talk about, you know, Supreme Kai and Beerus talk about, you know, developing their planet's level. It has nothing to do with power or with them fighting. I mean, it could be. I don't see it like that. It seems like it's more of a cultural thing because the Supreme Kai is not going to train a bunch of guys. It doesn't make any sense. It's more so like making, in other words, whatever Zeno deems to be a better planet, a better society is what it is. So that's kind of what the whole thing comes off like. It's not a strength thing because again, it doesn't make any logical sense. Why wouldn't the Omni King want to see the four strongest universes fight? It doesn't make sense to me.
That's the first piece of clue.
He ain't afraid. Yeah, he's not afraid of any of them. He can destroy the multiverse with a blink of an eye. So he's not afraid of them. So again, it just doesn't make logical sense as it being a strength thing. But I can understand why somebody would think that because it's not super clear. But there's a lot of evidence there to dissect and to look at to tell you that's probably not going to be a strength-based thing.
Yep, exactly. And there was one last thing I was going to mention, but I'm kind of blanking out right now. And hopefully I'll remember that before the end of the video.
Well, one of the ironies that I'll point out is the fact that the whole Zamasu thing, technically the worst universe as far as what they've done criminally is what Zamasu did in the previous arc because he went to the future and damn near wiped everybody out, right? And fused with the universe or whatever the hell happened. But they can't tell the Omni King because Beerus does not want to admit, or the Supreme Kai, to the Omni King that they were screwing around with time travel, even though the future Omni King came back in a freaking time machine.
He's literally right there.
He could tell him, hey, I came here in a time machine, buddy. Oh, you did? Yeah. They've been screwing around with time? They don't remember.
The other thing I want to mention is we all thought that Goku was at fault for this tournament, but in all reality he wasn't, because it's also revealed that the Omni King was already going to cut down these universes anyway.
That's right.
Because of how awesome the tournament was between Universe 6 and 7, they're going to make it a little bit interesting. But in the process of them doing this, Omni King realized, oh, even though these guys are the lowest of the low in terms of universes, they're entertaining. So I feel like also this could be potentially leading up to why they end up getting spared in the end. Because honestly, I feel like when this arc is done, no universe will get destroyed. I mean, we might get one or two get popped, but I feel like honestly cutting down on the universes just doesn't seem that likely, especially Universe 7, because we know they're there at the end of Dragon Ball Z, unless they rewrite that ending. So I feel like because now he sees these mortals, he's like, oh, well, you know what? Maybe they're not that bad, even though they are the lowest ranked. They're pretty nice people. And on top of that, if Universe 7 is so bad, then why is he friends with Goku? Why does he like Goku? So, like, again, this is not a thing about power. This is literally just about the fact that Universe, everything except for 1, 12, 5, and 8, their morals just aren't up to par because who knows what kind of people exist in those universes. And in 7, we know 7 is dirty. 7 is very, very dirty. You had the Saiyans who were terrorizing and destroying people. Technically Frieza's fault. You also had Frieza and his army. They were literally selling planets for forever. Where was Supreme Kai at? And Beerus for that, huh?
You know, I mean, he was dealing with Majin Buu at one point. But yeah, you're right. Beerus was asleep. He just let Frieza do what he wanted. I mean, for all intents and purposes, Beerus should have wiped out Frieza a long time ago. He was not committing good deeds, dude.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what this is. Now, if for whatever
reason, it's more
of
a morals and ethics thing, I guess.
Exactly. But if for whatever reason you guys think that this is power-based, then I guess let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. But honestly, the more I look at this, the more the evidence is literally in front of our face. This is more of a mortal thing as opposed to a power thing. The other thing that bugs me is if 7 and 9 are the weakest and Goku lives in 7, it would make sense to basically say, oh, Goku is practically the weakest person out of all the universes. Granted, we know that Whis and Beerus are like stronger than Goku. Compared to other fighters, I refuse to believe that. Some more evidence. If this is power based, then why is 6 above 7?
I mean, we don't know what. I mean, okay, yeah, Goku did beat Hit in the rematch, but the rematch was anime only. So again, we don't even know. Like, there's no sense in trying to make sense of that part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, nonetheless, either way, Universe 6. The thing about Universe 6 that people don't take into question, and that they should, is that Universe 6 was surprisingly very strong. I mean, you had Kaba, who couldn't transform into a Super Saiyan, but he was still going neck and neck with Vegeta, a very experienced series Vegeta, you know. And then you've got, you know, Botama, who deflects everything. You've got Frost, who was surprisingly stronger than Frieza in some ways. Not Golden Frieza, but like Frieza during the Namek arc.
Right,
so, I mean, you've got characters, yeah, who were actually stronger than Universe 7 counterparts. So, yeah,
but
I don't think it's a strength thing.
Yeah, but the other thing I was going to say is even though they were good fighters, compared to Universe 7, they were lacking. And if Vados picked the best of the best of Universe 6 at the time, you would put technically it would have been Universe 6 versus Universe 9. Yeah, 69.
Yeah, but not just that, but also if they were, we talked about this before, if Universe 7 Universe 6 fought without the tournament rules, Universe 6 would have wiped the floor with them because you had the Poison Dart of Frost, you've got Hit doing his freaking kill techniques at full blast, would have easily taken out Piccolo and Vegeta without even trying. He couldn't kill, so he couldn't do it. Goku wouldn't have known what to do if it wasn't for the Galactic King telling him. You know, so if they fought, if Universe 6 fought Universe 7, same tournament as that arc, as the Universe 6 arc, but with the Omniversal Tournament rules where you can do anything or whatever, where the rules, it would have been different. They would have lost. Boltamo, there's no ring outs, so Boltamo wouldn't have got ringed out. So in other words, those tricks that worked before aren't going to work anymore.
Right. Point is, the reason why the scales exist isn't because of power. It's just the levels of mortals and how the workers, quote-unquote workers, in these factories are, which are the mortals. So that's what it is. That's what this is.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to get more evidence in the coming weeks, I hope, to explain more about what it actually means. Like, what exactly does Zeno want from these universes? Does he just want order and balance? Is that? I mean, I'm guessing that's what it is. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, again, if you knew a universe existed that was full of bad people, what would you do? You wipe it out. You destroy it. He's done it before. We don't know why he destroyed the other universes before, because there used to be 18. But still, again,
dude, future Zeno saw what Zamasu was doing to that timeline and said, screw you, and just wiped the whole thing out in one shot. So they're capable of doing that, these guys. They don't care.
Yeah. So, he didn't Goku even say this is a bad person, take him out, and he did.
I think Zamasu says something. I think Zeno says something like, this place is, nobody should live here, or something like that. I forget exactly what he said.
Either way, that's what the scale means, and we wanted to kind of clarify that in this video. So if you have any theories or speculations of your own in regards to anything we talked about, feel free to join the discussion down below. And if you like the video, well, you can hit the like button, turn it blue. Fun fact: if you hit the thumbs up button, it turns blue. Test it out right now. So we hope
used to be called. Yeah, never mind. Go ahead.
What are you gonna say?
I was gonna make a horrible joke. Keep going.
Oh yeah. We hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I guess we'll see you guys in the comment section below.
Bye.